we go all over the USA now. Find out where else they serve. You guys ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Everybody knows from the USA. Everybody be served. California, yeah. Same where the Roger sandals too. Pushy, pushy, baby. Serving USA. Serving in Del Mar, Turk County line. Santa Cruz and Trussell, served there a vine. All over Manhattan, down no anywhere. Yeah, serving USA. We've been planning our room. We're gonna take real soon. Waxing down our sins. Can't wait for June. I'll be gone with the sun on some part of sleep. Tell the teacher we're serving USA. If you turn to that agony, come and be jelly. Lights on that pipeline, why be a bit? All over Manhattan, down no easy way. Yeah, serving USA. All right, Fred, come on. One more time, Dad. Come on now. Everybody goes serving USA. We've been planning our room. We're gonna take it soon. Waxing down our sins. Can't wait for June. The loving on the sun on some part of stuff. We tell the teacher we're serving USA. If you're serving in Del Mar, to the county line. All over Manhattan, down no easy way. Everybody just serving USA. Everybody just serving USA. Everybody just serving USA.
Hey, you guys. Here we are at Knott's Berry Farm, and we're about to be witness to the big announcement. So, oh, there's light now.
Yeah, now we can see it.
Okay, well, get ready. The park's closing, the amusement area is now closed, and the fun's really going to start. So, here we go.
The amusement area is now closed. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Happy National Roller Coaster Day. And welcome to the all-new Boardwalk Barbecue Restaurant. I hope you enjoyed your meals. Well, I wanted to start off by thanking you all for being with us here tonight for this exciting announcement for our all-new attraction coming in 2018. Now, I'd have to say, we've really enjoyed the speculation that's been out there about what's to come. Some guesses have been pretty darn close, almost too close. Some guesses couldn't be farther off. But regardless, we always enjoy the passion that you guys have for our park. Now, before we officially spill the beans on what's to come, before we officially spill the beans on what's to come, we want to share with you a little bit of our evolution, our legacy, and the innovation throughout the years. So here you go. Looks like we're having a little technical difficulty.
No.
I apologize. All right, we're just going to move on because the sound's not working either. So it would have sounded a lot better with music. But as you know, we do have a great roller coaster legacy here, from Corkscrew to Accelerator. So we're excited to talk about what's next. And here to talk about what's next is our VP and General Manager, John Storbeck.
So she forgot to say someone actually guessed it exactly. We won't tell you who that was, but you know, National Roller Coaster Day, talking about a roller coaster history, that gives you a little hint, doesn't, about what we're going to talk about today. So thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm so appreciative that you came out and spending a little time with us this evening. And I'm also really excited that you had the opportunity to try the food at Boardwalk Barbecue. It's our newest restaurant here at Knott's, and we're very, very proud of it. And you're going to have the opportunity later on to hear a little bit more about the restaurant and what's going on here in our food and beverage area. You know, Knott's is, it's no secret that Knott's evolved from a humble little berry stand to be one of Southern California's most popular theme park destinations. We're very, very proud. And Knott's has played, as you saw in this video, a significant role in theme park history, and in particular in roller coaster history. As Cherie told you, we had the very first corkscrew inversion coaster in 1990, the very first flywheel launch coaster, and the very first hydraulically launched coaster here. And we are excited to share with you tonight another first here at Knott's Berry Farm. So coming in 2018, we are going to debut the first dive coaster on the West Coast with the steepest drop in California. It is a Gerst-Lauer infinity coaster that we call Hang Time. Hang Time is going to be unlike any coaster we have in the park and is sure to excite even the most daring coaster fan. And it's another great addition to our boardwalk themed area. So, picture? We'll tell you what. A picture's worth 1,000 words, but I have somebody else that's going to come up here that has 1,000 words to share with you. And that's our Vice President of Maintenance and Project Development, Jeff Gahagan. Jeff?
Welcome, everybody. Like John mentioned, we did have the first in a lot of launch coasters. We had the two. We had the first free spinning coaster with Mach over in Sierra Sidewinder. And this year we're bringing you Hang Time. You can see it here and you're looking at it going, why? What's going on with that ride there? It is, have you heard of the Daredevil Dive? Any of you? Ridden that in Six Flags, Georgia? 95 feet. We're going 150 feet. You're hanging at the edge there. We're 2,198 feet, so a lot further. 3 trains with 16 passengers each. And what that is, it's configurations of 4. So there will be 4 rows, 4 guests per row. And the maximum velocity is 57 miles per hour. Now let's get to the fun stuff. The fun part about this ride, I mentioned that it's 150 feet. You're gonna go up and you're actually gonna hold at the top at 60 degrees for 2 seconds. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna drop 96 degrees back into it. It actually says 90, but it's actually 96 on the vertical lift. So we're going beyond the 95 that Daredevil Dive does. 3 inversions on Daredevil Dive, we're going 5 inversions. We have a 60-degree holding brake, like I said, at the top of the lift, that'll hold you there for 2 seconds. It'll have a negative G stall loop, which is the second one in the Western Hemisphere. And like we said before, it is the first dive coaster on the West Coast. That's all we get? You guys been waiting since 2013 for this? So the footprint we're going into, you guys have already figured it out. There's been tons of photos out there. And we're going to take you out into the site and show you some of the walkthrough of the location. We're actually going to head out going through the gates this way, around Boardwalk Barbecue. You're going to follow me. We're going to take you up to an overview of the entire site, and then I can go into where all of the different elements of the ride will be. So we'll go ahead and head that way, and I'll lead you. Don't go without me.
That's the important part.
What am I supposed to do? I'm grabbing his beer, guys. I'm grabbing his beer.
My beer is important.
Okay. Show us what you got, Jeff.
We're ready to.
Awesome.
Got everybody taking a photo of the TV though.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Oh. Yeah.
But it's really exciting dirt.
Okay, 2 seconds or 3 seconds. You told me 3.
Yeah,
No.
They couldn't get it down. Hold on a second. Lupita, hold it right. I'm gonna come back.
He's at home. I just having a little step.
We didn't know there'd be a field trip.
My parents did not sign the permission slip.
So before we head out, a lot of you got a photo of the TV screen. I want to make sure you pay attention to the TV screen when we come back. Okay? I'll talk about why when we come back and when we get back into the boardwalk. So don't just go right in. I want you to come up and watch the TV screen. We're going to go ahead and head into the boardwalk, into the back area of the ride. So how long is everybody pleased? 2013, or 2004 when we opened Silver Bullet, now we're finally here.
Awesome. Let's go.
There may be some dirt.
There may be some dirt. There may be a lot of dirt. So as we walk through these gates, you can probably remember, those of you that have been in the park, this was a cut through for the amusement park to go through. We actually planned this project for over 2 years, hence why Boardwalk Barbecue is pushed out as far as it is. This will no longer be a midway. So our midway flow will actually be bringing our guests all the way around, and you'll be able to see all the features from the main midway in the boardwalk. So you guys will actually be standing in the back when I give the presentation, and I'll point out how all of the features will be visible from the midway. But we'll go ahead and enter through here this way.
That makes sense. Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and go upstairs, up these stairs, right up here, then I can give you guys an idea of what we have going on here.
Yeah, we'll do this.
Okay.
Hang on, everybody. Here we go. That was good. Still with us? Yay.
You guys want to go ahead and line up along the window.
Lot of
We'll
dirt.
talk through everything as we go.
Huh?
Feel free to line up along the window.
Many darts. But I have your beer.
That's the important thing. My beer made the journey.
There's more space on this window down this end as well.
At the construction site for the new diet coaster at Knott's Berry.
There's a surfboard out there, Norm.
There
Several
are
new
several.
surfboards.
Yeah, there's like
What's the?
When I rode-
I saw one of the blue
when I
ones
rode the
that
co
McKinney
the
or something like that.
That's just
Coast
surfboard
Rider.
manufactured.
Oh,
I saw that one, and there's one over there.
That's one thing.
Go ahead and move all
So
the way
those
up
must
to
be the
window.
milestones.
More window space
Something.
over on this side as well.
Johanna, come here.
There's dirt.
They even redid it in prison. Maybe.
Oh my God, the forts we could make.
What?
The forts.
The fort's in there?
Dude, we could make
You
so
see the
many
hump
forts.
holes?
Oh my god. That'd be
We'll wait for
fun.
everybody to come up. Little history on this location. This is our employee dining facility. It actually is called Lakeside Terrace. It was actually built right next to the corkscrew. If you remember, there was a lake under corkscrew, hence why it's Lakeside Terrace. So this building will stay. This is a few times that hardly anybody gets to come up here other than employees. So, but it's a great overview of the site. We just have a couple more coming in.
Excuse me.
No, get out of here.
I'm just gonna
No.
take a picture.
Knock it off.
So a lot of you have noticed there are surfboards out there. The reason why is I will talk through what the different surfboards are. That they actually are just place markers out there, and you can also reference the drawing right above my head. Now think of this, this is a mirror image of what you're actually going to see out there. So you're flipping around, we're looking at it, looking down the midway. So just so you can see that it is a flipped image. The first part we're going to get to is there is a blue surfboard out there by a pile of concrete at the edge of the dirt piles. That is actually where the top of the lift is. That is a straight vertical 90-degree lift. It is a chain lift. It actually works opposite to most coasters. The chain actually has the dog that pulls the train up. A lot of coasters actually usually have the dog on the car. Instead, it's actually being pushed up. What happens if it gets stuck? It actually has magnetic braking coming down. So there is not an actual whole brake on there. It'll actually lower itself all the way down. And then there is actually a platform lift that goes up to the top if for some reason that whole brake at the top was to hold. So those aren't in the illustration for obvious reasons, but that's how it does work. You will hold, like I said, where it is in the picture there, at the 90 degrees before you, for 2 seconds at 60 degrees before you drop back. This point right here, which is actually the tall surfboard, directly across, it's the yellow one, is where the lift will be. That is where you'll have your 96-degree drop. So you're actually going backwards into it. You will notice as you come through, you go into the negative G roll, which is the surfboard. It's hard to see. It's out there in line with the lights. And actually the lights are making it dark. That's actually the furthest point on the coaster. It actually is a little bit beyond the surfboard. So I'm coming out of it. As you go through, there's now a white surfboard, which is the, right here. You're coming in and it's doing somewhat of a corkscrew. It only has one. You're then coming back towards the station, back past the lift, which is where back to the blue surfboard again, and that's where you'll have the high bank curve. You'll then come in and you'll go through a cobra roll. But prior to the cobra roll, you're going to see the track disappears. In both of those locations, the track will actually go 5 feet below the midway. So it's actually diving down even lower than our existing midway. You go through and then you'll have inversions 4 and 5, and then come into the brake run, which is on the back stretch. Any questions about it? How do you go straight up? 90 degrees. So it'll actually take one train. There is no block system on the ride, so it is just one train at a time. There's actually 2 different brakes. Yes?
How powerful is the G-force?
G actually hasn't discussed yet at all. We've talked about speed. So speed I did not cover, was 57 miles per hour in the ride.
Why this kind of coaster?
Why this kind of coaster? Good question. We wanted something that was thrill. We've been focused on family for several years. We did talk about putting the thrill coaster in several years ago, but we wanted to get the whole family back into the park. We finally feel that we have gotten a balance with the family, and we haven't had anything since Silver Bullet came in, so this is now the time to do this.
What's the hourly capacity?
800.
800.
800 guests per hour.
Is it going to be lap bars only?
No, it'll be lap bars.
How many total inversions?
5 inversions total.
Okay.
So the corkscrew was originally here, Boomerang was originally here with loops, and now we've got a more looping corkscrew coaster.
So,
but why doesn't it have any of the colors from the corkscrew? I noticed it looks a lot like Boomerang. Was there any plan to incorporate some of the corkscrew?
There is a reason, and I did say when we get back over there, I want you to pay attention to the TV, so I will be talking about that more. So there is a reason why these columns are silver and light blue in this area. Those of you that aren't familiar with it, like he did mention, this is where corkscrew was. This is where Boomerang was. Down at the far end is where Hammerhead and Riptide was. So those of you that saw when we ripped out Riptide, it turned into a grass planter. Now you know it was on purpose.
When will this open?
This will open summer of 2018. The other part down at the, you'll see there is one last building standing. That's the backside of the Hammerhead Riptide building, and that is actually getting torn down next week. So we're going all the way from Charleston Circle up to the Sky Cabin. Yes?
Is this a 2-car train, and how many trains?
There's 3 trains, and then it's actually, they're actually 4 individual rows,
right,
is what they are. It's actually not 2 cars of 2. So it's 4 rows, they're each individual.
But is it 2 connected, or is it one big car?
No, it's 4 connected.
Okay.
So 4 individuals.
4 rows.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Millennial Flyers that we have on Ghost Rider, how the individual seats are individual cars.
What's the time duration?
80 seconds of ride time.
Does it have 1 or 2 loading platforms?
It has 1 loading platform.
Are the trains going to have like different themes to each train, or are they all going to be pretty uniform?
They're going to be pretty uniform with the exception of the headrest. They are going to have a surfing theme. So the headrest will actually be themed as surfboards, and those will be intertwined and mixed around the board. So they aren't all the same.
How will the queue area look?
The queue area is going to be directly in the middle, right through all the loop areas. You'll actually enter right under the hang time logo, which is right at the bottom of the lift. There will be a fast lane entry and the regular queue entry. The line is designed to hold 600. Inside that queue, it'll snake back and forth, and we'll be having shade cloths over the top of it, staying with the beach theme in the whole boardwalk area.
Now, when guests ride this, are they able to choose their row, or is it assigned seating?
No, we'll actually have a grouper at the beginning,
okay,
where the fast lane is, and if you want to request the front, because most guests are going to want it the front for the hang versus the rear.
Yeah.
Some people will want the rear. Our front is the longest queue line, our back is a little longer, and then the middle 2 are shorter.
Okay.
What's the height requirement?
48 inches.
How long does it leave hanging again?
2 seconds.
Will it have pictures?
What was that?
On the ride?
Yes, it will have a ride-off photo. We have not determined a location for it. So as you come off the ride, you'll exit. It's a through station. So you will enter from the inside of the track. You'll exit on the midway side, walk down, and then where the t-shirt shop was that turned into a game, which was a hat shop that you may remember in Charleston Circle, that'll actually be a merchandise and photo opportunity building going through. And we will feature fun picks in there for anybody that does have the fun picks package with their season pass.
Do you know about how fast it goes up the lift hill, or is it pretty slow?
It's pretty quick.
Okay.
I don't have an actual speed on it, but it is pretty quick when it goes up. Well, the longest time is actually sitting in the hold position. There's a hold right before it. And what happens is there's only one dog on the chain.
Okay.
So it's driving up pretty quick. It gets up pretty high speed, comes down, and then the dog sits there at the bottom. So it's ready to go for the next train while the train's making its way through the cycle. As soon as it gets into the brake run and then into the next block in the brake run, the car will advance where the chain dog is already waiting.
Okay. Are there any trims?
Are there any what?
Any trims?
No trims.
Okay.
Are there going to be cubbies?
We have to determine if we're going to do cubbies or lockers. We have not determined that yet. Where those will be.
Will the loading area have ease of access for disability?
Yes, it will. On the exit platform, there will be an elevator and then a holding area inside there before you actually get into the loading area. And that'll be on the unload side, so the midway side. And you'll enter over by the merchandise facility.
Weight restrictions, etc.?
It's actually, size-wise, they have a 350 per seat, but that's an average based on the actual train capacity is what it is. So you could have somebody that weighs more as long as they fit in the restraint. There'll be a go, no-go on the restraint coming all the way down. It has to click twice, and then the seatbelt on as well.
Will there be a way to check that before getting on the ride?
As of now, there is not a test seat. And then on top of that, so seatbelt-wise, think of the ones over at Accelerator. It's almost the same exact restraint, how you have the T-bar, and then you have the tab that you're pulling off to the side so we can speed up the operation. It'll be a different color tab, so the operators can actually see the guest pull on it rather than having to check lap bar and restraint on every single guest.
Is there like, can you go a little more in detail about the lap bar restraint? Like, what specific type of restraint is it for a lap bar? Like,
they will not release that information. Good try.
What about lighting package?
We'll talk about that when we get back to Boardwalk Barbecue.
Can you tell us cost?
I cannot tell you the cost. A lot.
More than 50 bucks?
More than $50, yes. And less than Tower of Terror redo. How's that?
Shade of it all.
Norm, am I going down for that one?
That's a good one.
All right, let's check it.
Can you tell us who the manufacturer is?
Gerstlauer.
Gerstlauer is. This coaster is confusing because it's very similar to a Eurofighter. So if you look at a Eurofighter, but it's called an Infinity, so it's really and I compared it to the Daredevil Dive at Six Flags, and that's because it's basically a Eurofighter on steroids, is really what it is. Those cars, because some of the Eurofighters are 8 passengers, they don't actually have the 16 like we do, so it's just a lot bigger of it. It's the Infinity's the next version up.
So. How many cars are actually moving on the track at once? Is it just one?
Just one, because of the fact there's no brake locks.
Okay.
Correct. Yes?
You gonna ride it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm usually the first one to ride almost every single one of the rides, after the manufacturer allows us to.
And Joe, just so you know, on Periscope, everybody was loving your Tower of Terror comments.
And my daughter works there, so I guess she, actually, let me rephrase that, my daughter used to work there.
Are we talking lighting here?
Talking lighting down there.
Back there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm making the call.
She is the sarcastic one. I wonder where she gets it from when she's on the Jungle Cruise.
Did you have sort of any other ideas for like theming or the name of a coaster, or did you just?
The name we went around and around on. Okay, so the ride itself, we really did not talk much about, or to other manufacturers. We knew we wanted something different that didn't exist anywhere else. So the only place, I mean, the fact that it was in Georgia, checking the ride out, and it was a smaller version. We knew there wasn't one out on the West Coast. Worked directly with Gerstlauer and said, here's the plot of land, what can you do with it? They came back with a ride that didn't have enough elements to it. So we said, okay, what if you went a little further to the south, and we took out the merchandise building that was also still standing there and the building that we were going to use for the electrical vault, and that's where we got the different elements. So we've been with Gerstlauer since the beginning. That was the original idea we had in it. As far as the theming, the boardwalk we've been establishing over the years, it really started with Accelerator went in. What Accelerator, the story for the boardwalk is, and you'll notice it's Lee's Last Stand, you're supposed to be leaving the town and going out as you get to the ocean. Hence why it's called Lee's Last Stand. So it started way back in 2000. As you came out, we had the pool for perilous plunge, and we maintained the water statement just so you were along the boardwalk. And then the sand theme was to tie into the existing theme of the area. So it's been a mesh ever since we started with the Accelerator.
Will you have a theming queue too?
It'll be, the landscape inside will be a beach theme.
Okay.
And then we're looking at stamped concrete or colored textured concrete. So there'll actually be like shells in there impregnated into the sand, and then the shade cloths over.
Nice.
Thanks. Okay, there's got to be more questions.
Any other questions?
Yes.
So is the layout custom designed for your pad size that you had, and then you expanded it, or?
Yeah, what it, so the original intent was we knew we wanted a Eurofighter. We actually went to Gerstlauer first for a Eurofighter and said, here's the space, what can you give us? The first that they came back with was only less than 100 feet on the lift, and it only had 3 inversions. So much like the one I had gone to look at. And then we said, okay, what can you do more? And they came back with their drawings and overlaid and said, here's what else we can give you, and more elements to get the 5 inversions and a bigger track. So it was working with Gerstlauer to develop it to get to a ride that we actually liked. Big sticking point for us was getting to that 96 degrees. We went back and forth, and also the true hold at the top, because we will be holding you there and putting on a hold brake. I talked about the fact that the elevator that goes to the top and the actual platform, because it was talking about just putting magnetic braking. But with magnetic, you still have that creep always, since you won't ever have a complete stop. So that was something that we also insisted on. So really those were the 2 elements that we really held on back on. And then the first idea was to hold them up, the guests, for 6 seconds. But if you think about 6 seconds, it's a long time.
How long was the total planning development phase?
About 2.5 years is when we first started talking about the fact. Actually, I take it back. We have been talking about a coaster for well over 6 years in this area. But as far as when we determined that Boomerang was coming out, was shortly after we had to make a decision about Riptide, and that's when we really got serious about moving forward. We had the good guest reactions from Ghost Rider when we were going into that project, and so we knew we needed to do something coming up 2 years when we opened that ride up.
Can you tell us an approximate debut time for this?
Yeah, it's summer of 2017.
Will we be able to see an animation of like like a POV animation or anything like that?
Yes, that will be coming up later this year.
Okay.
Any other questions maybe you have? What we can do is we can go down the stairs. Oh, yes, Mark.
Is there a designated upset stomach zone after we get off the ride?
There are these blue trash cans. We ask that you open the flap all the way, pull out the actual cans, and we have to clean the trash can. You can use that.
Delicate about it.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but what's the height requirement?
48 inches. Yes.
Did you say when we're going to start seeing anything if we peek?
Yes, you actually, we will be the building that is left, we will be starting on Monday rerouting the fiber optics and power that are in there. That building is actually crucial to the middle of this park. It keeps all of the lights on in here, keeps the point of sale going, keeps the log ride, mine ride going. That's being rerouted next week, and foundations will be starting on the 28th. We actually have a permit, and you guys didn't find it.
Should we start lining up now?
You can.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I'll let you know after I write it how it goes.
I think we can start heading back.
What we can do is, and then if you want, you can go to the left a little while and you can check along the railings to take any of the photos you want. We'll actually go back out to the right. Folks looking at that.
Look at all the bloggers taking pictures of themselves.
Sweating pictures. A little warm up in there.
Like back and forth. It's like
Rick is taking pictures.
exactly. We're taking pictures of rigs
In our case, if we can.
Very unfortunate.
All right. We're back outside.
Blood drive.
Watch your head.
Got it. Yep. Okay.
Oh, Gary, would you care to help us jumping down the stairs?
Well, of course.
So you can slow down the camera? No, because I've got all this shit on my shoulders, but I'm also holding on to you for balance. Figured out this is my arm, and then I'm trying to block this fall in case it does. Here we go. Here we go.
Here is Rick taking pictures of dirt.
Absolutely. Maddie, I don't know. There are lots of folks here that
So Norm, should we expect a Halloween overlay?
Yeah, should we? Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, huh? I'm totally gonna write it. You guys, check out the lighting. Like, beautiful.
But if you'd like to record it, and for those of us who would actually like to see it, we're going to play it for you now. Most of you are back. We did talk about the color of the track and the color of the columns, and you asked why. Well, here's the reason why. We went in this ride. If you look over at Supreme Scream, and you remember when it opened, we actually had different colors on the ride.
And then on Memorial Day, we switched it over to red, white, and blue. Well, we're doing the same thing with this coaster. There actually will be a nighttime lighting package on here that can be changed thematically. So go ahead and change it over. And the columns are chosen for that reason, is to make the columns pop and actually then make the track be one color. As the train is going around the ride, you will actually have chasing lights go around the track. So you'll actually be able to track it as you're going. With the fact that it is a changing lights, you have the full color spectrum, being that they are LED lights. We can do overlays for Halloween Haunt, we can do overlays for Christmas, we can change the colors, just like we'll be able to do for Supreme Scream. So we are moving to LEDs on this ride. We will have the image up here on the screen. It also is shown to the left. It actually is very washed out because of the midway lights. When you actually will see it out there, the columns basically disappear and you see a dark colored track is what we're going with, and more of a chasing red-orange color going through the rides.
This is the red thing, actually. It's just hard to see, but this is the red.
So you can see right here in this area, that's through the LED lighting package. We are working directly with the manufacturer, so these lights are actually permanently attached to the actual ride as part of the design. So the manufacturer is working hand in hand with the lighting company to deliver this for us. Any questions on the lighting?
Any thoughts of doing this on other coasters, or just trying to see how it works on this one first?
We'll see how it goes on this one first. So I have one question for you. Besides the 16th being the coaster, what else happened today for Knott? Does anybody know? Nobody? Season passes. Season passes. Now that we have the ride here, season passes are on sale. So make sure you come and get those. We talked about the fun picks. You can add those onto your season pass package. It will be on this ride as well as the other ones. So the 16th is very important for us because we're kicking off 2018 and it's on sale now.
So we talked about the food a little bit earlier, so I wanted to touch a little bit more on that because this is a brand new restaurant facility for us, and I believe you guys all enjoyed a great meal tonight. So here to talk a little bit more about the food is the Director of Foods, John Chu.
That was a better applause than the ride gods. How did everybody enjoy their dinner tonight? Can I get some shouts? What were some of your favorite items that you guys tried here at the boardwalk? The salad from the vegan, I like that.
Pulled pork.
The pulled pork, okay. Pulled pork with the boysenberry barbecue sauce. That's probably one of the most popular ones I see come through Boardwalk Barbecue. So we're very excited about this restaurant. Did you guys remember what it was before? This is light years beyond what it was. We have some fabulous equipment inside the Boardwalk Barbecue. We have some top-of-the-line smokers that we're just having so much fun with, trying out all different things. Some of the menu items that you guys tried here tonight are going to change over the course of the season and for the different events. You know, there's some great things we can do for the Boysenberry Festival, for our Mary Farm events, and so on. We're practicing with things like briskets, smoking our own turkey, wings, you name it. So the sky's the limit with this kitchen. I have one more food and beverage surprise for you guys. Once you guys are all done here, we have some fabulous hang time cupcakes and a nice slab cake that our bakery produced here on farm. So this kitchen does a lot of food from scratch, like most of our food here at the park. All the sauces are made from scratch. It was all developed by our culinary team, our executive chefs, our executive sous chefs, all create the recipes from scratch. All the rubs that we have for the pork shoulders, for the ribs, and for the chicken, also all made from scratch. So we pride ourselves in offering such great food to our guests. And Boardwalk is also part of the dining plan. Does anybody hear of the dining plan? A few hands going up. So a lot of great options on there, and we'll keep changing that out all throughout. So thank you guys very much for your support, and looking forward to seeing you guys throughout the park.
Thank you.
So in addition to all that yummy food is a very special cocktail over there, those of you who haven't enjoyed it yet, called Hang Time. So enjoy the party. We will have interviews available to the right, as well as a great photo op. So enjoy. We're here till 9:30. We'll have the band come back out and have a good time. Thanks, everyone.
That was awesome.